Okay, so I'm going to give you some commentary on the Oprah weight loss special. What this medicine does is it affects your hunger signaling. And so you can eat what you eat and then feel satisfied, whereas before you'd still be obsessed with food. So a big reason why people don't have satiety from what they're eating, because they're eating a lot of processed flour, sugar, and processed foods. And those foods do not create satiety in us. And I don't think we're going to hear here in this special that the more natural whole foods you eat, the more fiber you eat, the more micronutrients you eat, the more satiety that you get. I don't think we're going to hear any of that because those are natural solutions. And what we're going to hear is keep doing the same shit you're doing to feel hungry all the time, and then take this medicine because you won't feel as hungry. Big issues with the Ozempic thing as this cure-all. In my world, we have a weight mastery pyramid: mindset, lifestyle, eating. And if you lose someone and now you're depressed, there are strategies to kind of deal with the emotions genuinely. Because just because now you're not hungry or you're more satisfied when you eat, you're still depressed. How do you deal with that? And this really gets to the core of it, because I believe in my world, you need to take your weight loss rapid in personal development. You may need to make this about becoming the best version of yourself that you want to be. And just turning down the hunger thing doesn't help this person deal with the emotions. And I know some people say, well, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about the core emotions. I just want to be thin. And that's fine too. Again, there's different, goals for different people. And another thing this medicine does apparently is it slows down the digestion. So you can eat your donut and it'll stay in your gut longer, because when you eat a donut compared to an apple, the donut is made out of flour and sugar. And so your body absorbs it much quicker than an apple, which is going to has much fiber in it. And it's going to take a lot longer to digest. It stays in your gut a lot longer. So instead of saying eat foods that take longer to digest and fiber that stays in your gut all the way through and out, we're going to eat these processed foods, but now you'll get more satisfaction from them. This very much reminds me of the old heartburn commercials where they would show the guy at the at the county fair eating all the county food and then getting heartburn. And the solution was to take this medicine that relieves the acid reflux or the indigestion or heartburn, instead of not eating so many of those foods in the first place. So again, I'm not arguing that the medicine doesn't do what they say it does. What I'm saying is that this is one solution that is really not a solution so much as it is something that treats the symptoms and not the core problem. And so we could talk about obesity, but they have yet still to talk about mindset, lifestyle, and eating strategies that are built for long-term success. And I don't think we're going to get to that, but we'll find out. Listen, I love these people. This is what I do all day. So I hear stories like this constantly from what I do with people. And I know what's front and center is that you feel like you're addicted to food. But my big question for you is, are you addicted to food, or have you never learned strategies that work for you? What are your strategies for eating so that you not only lose weight, but you do it in a way that's relatively comfortable and easy for you? You've never, ever learned strategies to do this. You have learned intense diet strategies where you cut 50, 60% of your calories out. Oprah references a liquid diet she was on. She wheels the fat out from a liquid diet. And so she doesn't talk about how that's not sustainable. That didn't make sense to do in the first place because it wasn't a long-term strategy. She just says, I did the diet like everyone else. It didn't work. And now I'm on drugs. Well, what else? What other solutions could there be? Maybe if you start to accumulate strategies that are custom built for you that help you manage your hunger, your satiety, and your eating so that you can live at the weight you want to, maybe you wouldn't need the medicine. Now, again, I'm not saying that's true for everyone, but what I am saying is no one does that. The idea that obesity makes your set point higher, and so when you lose weight, obese people, they're going to go right back up to that thing because their set point's there. Fair enough. That's what happens to most obese people. But how do we explain the obese people that go from up here and bring it down here and live at a lower weight for the rest of their lives? How did they do it? Well, I know how they did it because I've talked to a ton of them. And what they've done is they've changed the way they think about things, the way they live, and the way they eat. And it's always the same story. Success leaves clues. But how often have you spoken to people that have lost a significant amount of weight and kept it off for at least 2 years? And that answer is probably 0, even though you've been trying to lose weight for 50 years. Again, I'm not anti-medication. I want to be clear. I'm on a statin and I plan on being on a statin for the rest of my life. So I'm not anti-medication. What I am is it's so frustrating to me that all of a sudden we're hearing about food noise. And I've been thinking about food noise for 30 years because you can influence your food noise. But have you ever even tried to deal with your food noise? Have you ever been aware of it? Do you even know what it is? Like, wouldn't it make sense to know what it is, understand it, use some techniques to try and shift it and change it, see if they work or don't? But again, what we're going to do is we're going to go from the stupid diet mindset that doesn't work all the way just over to medicine. These are the only two options. And they're not the only two options. There's a huge difference of approaching your weight loss with a focus on, I just want to lose as much weight as I can quickly versus I want to live at my goal weight for the rest of my life on near autopilot. They're two completely different goals with two completely different strategies. One thing I see is the message that it's not a personal failing if you haven't been able to lose weight on a diet. And I would agree with that because diets are bullshit. It's a tactic. Again, look at every diet you've ever done. It's one tactic. It's cut out carbs, count your points, eat 1,200 calories, don't eat for 16 hours, just eat grapefruits, just eat Mediterranean food, stop eating fat. It's always one thing, and they never tell you how to have a holistic, comprehensive plan to actually live that way. So what is the solution? The solution is that you have to systematically and strategically reduce your calorie consumption. That's what these medicines make it easy to do. Okay. But there are other holistic, comprehensive ways to make that happen. So for example, just to give you counterpoints, dieting, any diet you've ever done, you're starting on day one and you're jumping into it. It doesn't matter if you're going to eat 1,200 calories, you've cut 50, 60% of your calories out on day one. You think you're going to keep that up. If you're doing keto, you've cut all the carbs out and you're going to maintain that till you lose the weight. Whatever you're doing diet-wise has always been overwhelming. And that is why you don't want to do it. That's why you struggle to do it. So what's an alternative to that? Well, an alternative could be instead of saying I'm going to change everything all at once because I'm so impatient, you say, you know what? I'm going to strategically start to focus on my worst eating habit. Maybe I eat at night, I snack at night. I'm going to start systematically focusing on that and figuring out how to resolve that. And I'm going to work on figuring out strategies, mindsets that allow me to do that consistently and relatively easily. And it may take me a month, it may take me 6 months to really master this habit. But once I master this habit, it's gone. And now I live that new way and I can move on to the next one. I'm going to structure my eating so that I know which foods I can eat in the morning get me to lunch, which foods I can eat at lunch get me to dinner comfortably. And so there is another way to look at this, and it's not your fault. It's really not your fault that you haven't been able to control your weight. I believe that part of it, but it's not your fault because you've never learned this approach. I'm not judging medicine here, but what I am judging is the fact that they don't give you a comprehensive solution. Just once again, it's the one thing, the one thing you got to do. And that's what every diet's built around is the one thing. Just stop eating carbs. Just count your points. Just take your medicine. And it's just one more thing. And I don't believe that you'll ever master your weight by doing just one thing. I think you need to master a bunch of things. And if that's something you don't want to do, fair enough. That's fine. But if you're a person who really wants to master your weight in this way, it becomes one of the greatest journeys you ever go on, because this is a path of mastery that you just keep improving and growing and getting better on. And the beauty is that you don't just lose weight, you become the best version of yourself possible. And so I hope that's motivating for you. If it is, please go to the link under here or go to programyourselfthin.com. Get the free hypnosis session I give you. It's called The New Thin Me. It's a kickstart session. It's about 10 minutes. Experience what hypnosis feels like and what effect it has on you. And then watch the video that I give you right after it, 3 Steps to Master Your Weight, where I go into what I'm talking about here a little bit deeper. And just open your eyes to it. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. But at least you'll realize there is another approach to mastering your weight other than dieting and other than the medicines. And again, I appreciate and thank you for watching this. And I wish you the best with your weight.